But what was the moment I want to think about leaving KPMG?
KPMG is the best of the big four because you can be what you want to be. I left because I wanted to try myself to entrepreneurship, to create jobs, to serve clients, and to really build something. So 10th I left, 12th I started my first day as an entrepreneur. I knew I would meet common friends, so I was not alone. I did a 4-seater and we never looked back.
I read on LinkedIn one of your posts where you said Transaction Square IPO. Why an IPO?
I want to create more jobs. I want to create more possibilities for people. So 8 years we've created a brand. Now to let the brand grow to more services, more jobs, we need funding.
What do you feel about the technology for our professional services? Not just the tools, like, okay, there will be an AI tool to make your life easier.
For us, AI is the biggest opportunity. We can do things tirelessly. AI is going to do many more possibilities for niche firms. So as far as I'm concerned, AI is the biggest opportunity for us.
What one thing would you like to tell them?
Have a dream here and chase it. It's fun when you chase a dream.
Every professional journey looks perfect in hindsight. But the truth is, the real turning points really make it to the resume. Behind every professional achievement lies a story of risk, of resilience, of choices that don't make sense in the moment but define us. Today, my guest is Mr. Girish Vanvari. From securing rank 1 in his CA Inter days to facing an unexpected failure in his finals, and that quietly building with determination. From leading the tax practice of KPMG to leaving behind all mid-career to start a 4-seater office with no brand and no safety net. From choosing stability to creating Transaction Square, a firm that's reshaping how professional services are built and trusted in India. His journey is thoughtful, layered, and deeply human. Not just about business, but about choices, meaning, and purpose. Girish, welcome to Beyond Titles. Thank you so much. It's absolute pleasure having you here.
Mine too, Suraj. Thank you.
So, this question you would have been asked many times, and I obviously said that in my introduction also. A rank holder, and suddenly you failed in finals. I think so. Most of the CAs go through failures. How did you take it? That's what something I want to understand is, being really at the top to really getting some sense of realistic. So how did you take it? And what happened?
Actually, I would say that the inter rank first. So I used to study in a library. What I'd done is I'd done an analysis of the last 10 years of CA exams. And we used to get the rank number, means in the sense, this much score takes you to number 1, this much score takes you to number 2. So I prepared myself that I had to get 500 plus, which gets you to rank number 1. And based on that, I used to study. So I used to study in a library. So I used to tell people, people used to ask me, so how are you going about it? What is your aspiration? What do you want to do? So I said, I have to get this 500. If I get 500, I'll get number 1. So people used to say, "Ye to pagal hai," because everybody in CA just hopes he passes. And here I am not studying to pass, but to come number 1. So actually that happened. So when I went to the same library again.
That's so strategic.
Yeah, it was expected. So after my results, after my exams, I knew that I'd done well and I could get there. So
the target was rank 1.
Yeah, it was number 1 and it happened. So that's how it happened. Then the life moved towards final. Before my finals, I lost my mother. So when I lost my mother, it was very traumatic because she died suddenly. Because I lost my mother, then I went for the final exams. After the first exam, I just couldn't deal with the exams. Because when it was inter, my mother used to get up with me, like all mothers do, sit with me, get me that tea, put that dahi in my mouth before I went for exams. I just couldn't handle the finals, the way it went. I did 2 papers bad. And I just prayed after that I should not pass. Because if I had passed, I would never get a rank. So I said, this has to not pass. So that at least I really give a fair attempt. When I couldn't have a breakdown, I had a breakdown. So as the exams ended, I just prayed that I don't get through with this. And then I went for the next attempt.
But you were so fanatic about getting a rank?
It is easy.
No, easy is fine, but that's like you said, if 2 exams go bad, kids would be like, I just have to pass. I just need, a 300 out of 600
No,
and I'm good.
actually, it was easy. So when I sat for the finals, to get that rank, I needed that number. It was 580, I remember that. And I got 556. Actually, I went down because of one subject, where I got 42. If I got 60, 70, there would have been number one. There are very few people who are number one in inter and final. So gold medalist, inter gold medalist final would have made history, but I missed it.
But what would you like to, I would say, tell students today who take it very extreme when they fail?
I think you have to ignore. So when I failed, I became a public failure. I mean, the same library I went to study for my finals, people used to quote me as an example. See how unpredictable the exam is. This guy came one and now he failed. So, you can't trust the exams, you can't trust the system. But they were foolish. And I used to just ignore it. So I was never a minute distracted. I was never a minute explaining this to others, because now in this podcast you talk about it. But otherwise, you don't talk about it. You just get on with, where you stand, you put your head down and work, and don't let the noise around you disturb you.
But you called it's like a public disgrace, and you publicly said that. But don't you think this statement is very extreme, that,
What?
that it's a disgrace?
Of course it is, because people just judge you. They don't know what is behind you. They don't know what went wrong.
People talk.
And if you had seen me in that exam where I really failed, where I went down and really I went blank. I couldn't sleep the full nights before the exam because I missed my mother. Nobody understood that, right? Only my father knew what I went through. So you just have to ignore.
But do you think this failure or some sense of logic made you more subdued? Maybe if you would have got rank, 111, you could have become later on a very arrogant professional.
Not at all. I would be subdued like this forever. Because see, we all come from middle class backgrounds. We all do seva. So we all have made our lives with whatever we've done. So, with or without a rank, you're a common man. So I don't think I need to fail to get this subduedness. I was always subdued.
You've had a great career in KPMG, multiple years being the national tech head. So just tell us about your experience in KPMG.
I think my best inning of my life was not KPMG. Better than that was Arthur Andersen. So like Andersen, I just saw your diary with Andersen on it. Andersen is what made me. So after I cleared my exams, I did my articles in audit. So I did it from a company called A.F. Ferguson, which now is Deloitte actually. And I used to have a genius of a person who I worked under called Shamak Tata. I used to do HLL. I used to do Mahindra and Mahindra. Really learned a lot. Audit was very, very interesting because you were dealing with numbers, you were dealing with interactions of people. So the first thing is anybody who is doing any course, interactions, meeting with the best is very important. Studying and all happens, but the human behavior of interaction, which the consulting career gives you, is very, very important. I should have done audit or something in finance, but audit made you travel. So I used to go to all remote places, Chindwara, Kamwa.
All the factories.
All the factories, maybe not knowing the names also.
Yeah.
And it was tough. So after I got cleared, I immediately got married. And that was 22 and a half, maybe 23. And then I couldn't have a career of traveling because I just had got newly married. So I said, now what is most stable, which will make you in Bombay? Then shoot, this came in offer from Andersen Tax. Very, very impressive. So I said, okay, this is not going to make me travel. I didn't love tax or dreamt of tax
so it was
or
just
whatever.
Because of the travel.
Because of the travel. So I joined Arthur Andersen. And I did a good innings in Arthur Andersen. And really, that was the best part.
That built your base.
Yeah, it taught you to be a true-blooded professional. It taught you everything that I am today. And it was very, very interesting.
And you said now that Big Four partners are more like salesmen than professionals. So what do you mean by that generally?
So what happens is I would put leadership into three buckets. First is self-leadership. When you're in the initial phases, like say up to managership, you're self-leader. You have to read, you have to present yourself, you have to work hard. Then you start grooming people, you become a team leader. And as you become bigger, you become a bigger team leader wherein you're winning projects, executing projects, like what you said, your consulting business. Then you become an institutional leader. wherein you're leading an organization, where you're leading bigger teams, where vision is being drafted, where things are getting done. When you become an institutional leader in a bigger firm, then you're more into that brand building. You're more into building clients, building the firm, and then you go away from actually doing the work.
Not solving problems then of clients.
Not solutioning.
Which is our core, I would say.
And then you lose the edge. And once you lose the edge, then I think it's very difficult.
But what was the moment where you said, okay, now I'm 45, 46, I want to see or I want to think about leaving KPMG and start a new inning? Was there a moment? Was it planned strategically? Or was just a moment that something has happened, which we see a lot in Big Four, something has happened, no, I have to do something on my own?
So I would say that KPMG is the best of the Big Four.
And is the smallest.
For a person wanting to be something, it's the best of the Big Four. Why is it best of the Big Four? Because you can be what you want to be. So if I had hung on, I could perhaps had a shot to CEO. I stood also for CEO election before I left. If I had stuck for 3-4 more years, I would certainly become. At least I would have had a good shot at it. So like I see Big Fours around me where I see the same CEO for 25 years. So there's no opportunity
to grow.
In KPMG, there's a unique thing. If you're good and if you believe in yourself, the firm has a platform which lifts you. So it's the best of the Big Four. It makes you a man. And you can actually go out and be what you want to be. So I did great innings in my KPMG career. I started with leading the M&A tax practice, moved into international tax, then headed the tax practice, and then was a part of the leadership team. So I was learning, I was growing, I was absolutely very fond. I loved the company. I still love the brand. So I would have a souvenir box for Andersen and KPMG at my home. And today, whatever I am is because of these two organizations, because they've groomed me, they've trained me, and they actually invested in me. And they made me what I am today. So KPMG was extremely kind, and it was really very nice. I left because I wanted to try myself to entrepreneurship. It was an inner calling to be an entrepreneur, to create jobs, to serve clients, and to really build something and try myself to build something big. So it was an inner calling which developed. And then when you have an inner calling, your heart says, now I'm ready. And that belief of God comes in that, okay, now you must step out.
Why not try it?
And go out and do something.
So, like you said, actually my next question, you stood for elections, right? Typically what we've seen in Big Fours are people who stand for elections, don't go or leave. So it was not that.
It was not that at all. I stood for elections. If I had pushed myself a little bit more, I could have won it also. And after that, I was there for a year and a half. And I could have easily done 2.5 more years and stood for the next one. And actually, we are very capable. Nobody can remove us because we're capable. Our clients love us and our teams love us and you do the right things. So that was never a consideration. But it was an inner calling to do something actually, which just planned my exit out.
So how come you registered Transaction Square so long back? I remember you had registered this company many years back. So was there always a thought that, okay, there will be a point in time, we don't know when, that I would love to try something on my own? Or was there something built over time or more immediate?
So I'll tell you, if you look at career points, every career has its lows. And anywhere, any business has its own. I mean, you lose a project, so on and so forth. First 5 years of KPMG, I did M&A tax from 2004 to 2009-10. Then KPMG did an acquisition. They acquired a team from PwC. As a part of that acquisition, there were some roles given. So overnight, I was removed from what I was good at, which is M&A. I used to lead the M&A tax practice of KPMG. I was removed overnight. And then there were CNBC tickers that Girish Vanvari replaced by X as an M&A tax leader. So my family started asking me, oh, Papa, what happened? You got removed. What will happen to your career? That was a phase where I was introspecting that should I continue with a Big Four? Should I go out and do something of my own? And that's when I registered Transaction Square because I thought maybe I should try something entrepreneurship, wherein I would have control over my own career.
Own destiny, yeah.
But as I was removed from M&A tax, I was given international tax. International tax was 4x the number of people. It was a bigger business, but it was not my capability. My capability was M&A tax, but international tax was much bigger. So in that phase, when I was actually now going through the transition into international tax, I registered this brand. But then I thought no, what am I going to tell my children? That I'm going to leave when I'm down? Not at all. First, I will make this successful and then I will see. So I registered the brand, but I did not leave because I did not have the courage. I could have left then. And maybe in hindsight, I should have left then. Because today I would have had a listed Transaction Square by now, surely. Then I migrated there. And then when the succession for the tax head came in, I had done M&A tax as a niche, I had done international tax. There was no better person in the
organization
to lead me. So I led the tax practice.
So in hindsight, it was good also?
From an organizational career standpoint, it was very good. Very, very good. Because it made me a tax leader.
But what was the toughest thing to leave? I mean, was it the power of a big four, the brand, the security of a job, the ego? What was the toughest thing when you left big four, when you started?
Nothing was tough.
Nothing was tough.
So when I left, I was so mentally prepared that I would become a nobody. So I remember I left on the 10th of April, which was in Delhi. On 11th, I started.
And how was your first day? I mean, considering thousands of people working for you versus, starting a solve. So that was there generally it happens, right? You're used to working big clients, big office infrastructure, number of people reporting to you. Suddenly, yes, they are people, your team, but they're slightly lower. So at least the first day gives you that jhatka ki, is it? Or it was you again, it was planned, so you didn't have that effect?
So 10th I left, 11th I went back to Mumbai. 12th I started my first day as an entrepreneur. I knew that I could not be alone. So what I did is I chose WeWork. Because if KPMG I had a team of 2,400 people, WeWork housed 2,000 people. So I had a big building. I knew I would meet common friends. So I was not alone. I did a four-seater. Before I left, I'd had a colleague of mine, Fahad, who was a college graduate, who joined me on the first day. And there were two well-wishers, two clients of mine who were retired and who also were figuring out what they want to do. So I said, this is the four-seater, Fahad, myself, and these two clients. So we were four of us as a team from day one. And those two people were never my employees, but they were just there for the emotional glue for the first 6 months. And we never looked back. I didn't miss anything, actually.
And how's the journey been?
It's been absolutely satisfying because people have given work. And I think I work on bigger things than I worked in KPMG. And that was from day one itself. On the contrary, I got calls from people who would never work with me in KPMG. And far bigger, far more relevant, far more important. So I have missed nothing of KPMG. It had a space when I was at that age. At this stage, this makes more sense.
And you started predominantly, I would say, as an M&A firm. But over the time, you have diversified into, I would say, multiple service lines. So is this planned, one? Second? Or is the market forces such that determine that one service line is tough in India specifically? What at least my reading is, it's tough to stay extremely niche. But you thought that I'll be only an M&A tax firm, but the market demanded, no, you need to, or the client was, coming ki mera ye bhi kar lo, so, why not have a service line? So what was that moment we said, okay, we need multiple service lines?
So I would say that we started with M&A restructuring, IPOs. We did very good work. Today we have a client base of 1,500 people, 1,500 clients actually, very, very strong. And as we started to evolve, tax is tax. So I knew TP, I knew GST. Correct. I was just filling in the services, personal tax, corporate tax, international tax. So the tax and regulatory practice is a wholesome bunch. And then when you look at transactions, there's a valuation, there's a diligence. So all those are ancillaries to what I do.
Absolutely.
So I just said I will not do corporate finance because a lot of the work came from other
Investment banks.
banks. So I said, let's be a client to them rather than compete with them. So that's the bouquet built in. Then some of my clients started to sell businesses, do public offerings. They got the cash. And when they did all that, the money came in. And then they said how to invest. Should we do GIFT City? Should we invest overseas? Then we morphed into family offices. So the firm does M&A restructuring, IPOs, and family offices. And family office is the next big wave. It's bigger than the biggest. It just started in India.
Correct.
And now we have 400 great family offices. We have celebrities also as a part of it. And I think this can, in itself, become bigger than a Big Four in India. If you do it right. Oh, it's huge. It's huge. And no Big Four can get into that zone because the trust factor, the personal touch. And it requires different kind of warmth, no target budgets, no selling. So it's a business where a family can only advise a family.
And it's purely solution-based.
It's solution-based. It's confidentiality. It's different business.
And you plan to further expand or you want to now focus around these two buckets?
See, I think I have a client base of 1,500 clients and which is growing. I would add a 3-4 client every day in the firm. So my client base is there. Now, what more can I do with them without looking to be that I'm breathing down their throats is what I'm thinking. And that's going to happen very fast. How to get those skill sets which gracefully can morph into what my clients needs and then service them more holistically and grow the business and make it bigger.
So we've seen huge movements from Big Four, right? And we've had multiple companies and the bigger ones, let's say yours or Unicus or, Dhruva. Why does this happen? Is it everyone thinking that we have gained enough experience, enough client relationships that we want to become an entrepreneur? And obviously I've named the bigger ones, but the huge number of good firms which have got created.
I think our biggest moat is there will never be another Transaction Square. So 3 companies beyond that, there is no fourth. And how many Big Four partners are there? Thousands. So still there are only 3 firms in 10 years. That means there's a moat in us. People will never leave Big Fours. They won't have the guts and the courage.
It's a courage part,
right? To leave the business class travel, to leave international conferences and so on and so forth. Plus everything is so easy.
Clients are being sometimes given because
on the platform, not sometimes, all the time. They're global clients. So they're the biggest moat is that there'll never be another Transaction Square. I bet. At least in my lifetime.
Too much guts required, correct.
Too much guts required, too much sacrifices required. You have to be a nobody.
Yeah.
And when you reach 45, 50,
it's you
cannot
the security. I would say security of getting a check every month.
Yes. You cannot stopping your SIPs, telling your children don't go foreign education, don't go here. Takes a lot of guts.
A lot of guts, for sure. I read on LinkedIn one of your posts where you said Transaction Square IPO. So that means, and again, why I'm asking this is we are seeing a trend globally where companies are, we have seen this in US, right? Especially out of 50, 20, 30 companies have raised private equity. We've seen a couple of listing long back. We saw the EY thing, which we're planning to go to get listed. In India, we are seeing a slight, I'm sure generally India, it follows, right? A developing country will follow that, there'll be interest of a PE and you straight away wrote IPO. So what's your thought process, you think? And we in India, I don't think so we've seen any professional services firm as such be in an IPO. So what's your thought process on that? Why an IPO?
I want to create more jobs. I want to create more possibilities for people. The platform is there. So right now when I travel, Transaction Square, everybody knows. So 8 years, we've created a brand. Now to let the brand grow to more services, more jobs, we need funding.
100%.
And the more funding we get, the more we can add value to our clients. Now, there are 2 parts of our business. One is the advisory part and second is the annuity compliance part. I think both need to be built. We are very good at the advisory part. We need to build the buckets of AI-enabled compliances for family offices, for different kinds of things. And I think with an IPO, with the funding and growing the other parts will take us to a league where nobody has gone to. We just have to do it step by step. We just have to do it with a plan, which we have. And in the next 2-3 years, we will be ready for something very different, which this country has not seen. But it just will take that 2-3 years to morph into stuff which we have not been doing.
And why not a PE?
Now,
Because if funding is the only criteria you're mentioning.
So there are 2-3 things. One is we can have a PE, we can have family offices, we can have an IPO. I think there will be a lot of intangible being added by an IPO, because a listed company has far more visibility than
100%.
an unlisted company does. Now, whether we'll do PE IPO, whether we'll do family office fundraising IPO, whether we'll do either of the two, it's something which we will work on. But certainly we'll do something which will create history.
But one thing, a question comes to my mind is when companies go the funding route or whatever, one part is lost, which is the culture, right? We've seen broadly. I mean, a lot of things become very oriented to the next quarter, the next year, and we see a diminishing part of culture. I mean, if you were to see all the top tech companies today, be it Microsoft, Amazon, everyone, and I have friends in all these places, we've seen the amount of firing which is happening. And these companies are very profitable. So it's not that, the profit is a problem or the value is a problem today. They're the only $1 trillion companies in the market. But that culture starts affecting because of the pressure of the market, right? Or better margins, because they're listed companies. How will you balance that? Considering there will be a pressure, whether from the market, and we all understand that, whether from a private equity or whether from the market, from an IPO, I mean, how will you handle that? That has to be treated very carefully. So how would you handle that?
See, I would say firing somebody is not good or bad culture. I think we have to do what is good for the organization. What is good for the organization in a respectful way. Whether you're listed, unlisted, you have to do what is good for the firm. So I don't think being listed or unlisted will make you do things which are different from this philosophy of doing what is good in the larger interest of the firm. I think if you're honest and you do honest conversation with people, if you are honest and you're looking at the firm first concept, in all cases you will do the right things. And I know great companies which have a great culture and are also listed. It's how much you want to misguide people with false narratives, with false expectations, or building it the right way in a very consistent manner. Maximum valuation is not important. We're not doing this for valuation. We're just doing it for making a forever firm. Because today I'm, say, 52. I have a 48-year career to go. I'm 1/3 of my career done. 2/3 is pending. I have so many people who trusted me, so many clients. Just go step by step, building a great firm. IPO is a mechanism to take your people to a better future, because they also have some alpha returns on building Transaction Square, and also get you the funding which is required to build a better future. So that doesn't become a bad culture or something. And I think that can be achieved with a P also. But yes, if you go and do the optimal valuation, showing the rosiest picture, then the pressure will be on you.
Then the pressure will be on you.
So I think there's always a mature mid-path.
And you think you have that in mind from a...
I have 48 years. So I am in no rush.
No rush. And you as a firm went a lot into tier 2 towns. So what was that about, considering we've not seen, I would say, except for the big fours who are also now going into like tier 2, tier 3 towns, generally the firms have not gone. So what was that about, and how did you went about building those, I think
wherever there's entrepreneurship, we have an opportunity. And we are helping people take to a better future. I think tier 2 towns is a very big opportunity for any professional, whether it's wealth. I actually had a philosophy. I should be wherever Indigo flies. So if Indigo feels that it's good to have a flight directly going to Kandla, means Kandla is very big. Because they also have their roots, right? And Surat and Ludhiana and then You look at so many different parts, Chandigarh. So I will keep growing wherever the entrepreneur needs help and honest advice. So it just was a natural path, and I think it will keep growing that way.
So how did you grow in these towns? Did you go around finding people, or you collaborated with companies and then grew?
Nothing. I think good work got more good work. So
word of basically.
And all work always starts from Bombay. There will be an entrepreneur who comes to Bombay for funding. A banker will connect you to that entrepreneur. And then you do good work for that entrepreneur. He may be in say, Kerala. And then he'll refer 4 other friends from Kerala to you. So work starts from Bombay. You don't need to do advertisements. You don't need to do great stuff in, spending money for brand building. Do good work. Whatever comes your way, do it well. And then one takes you to the other. The brand keeps growing.
You spoke about, right now you were speaking about AI in terms of building the compliance. How do you see that affecting positively and negatively from a professional services? Because I feel they're both sides to the story. We have to evolve. Obviously, there's a big positive impact AI will make, but I think from a professional, and that's my limited, I would say, understanding, is obviously there is the second side of the coin as well. One, so what do you feel about the technology for our professional services? Not just the tools, like, okay, there will be an AI tool to make your life easier. If you were doing it, let's say a project in 10 hours, now you're doing in 1 hour. That's one aspect, great, right? But there's a second part of that is how much jobs right now, if I know one is talking about, will it evolve into creating newer jobs? Will it evolve into something? What's your viewpoint? Focus around professional services firms.
So I would say, no, I would not generalize professional service firm. I would say firm like ours, which are niche and small, very small. For us, AI is the biggest opportunity. We can do things tirelessly, what would take hours and hours to do and build. So if you make your AI agents, if you think ahead what the market needs and what tools you have, like Apple has made my life easier. AI is going to do many more possibilities for niche firms, and they can pivot also very quickly. So as far as I'm concerned, AI is the biggest opportunity for us. What I'm worried about is that we should use it carefully to ensure that we don't lose out on confidentiality, which we must, not upload stuff which is very confidential. And second is we have to make sure that 95% of the work will be done by AI, that 5% judgment has to be done very well. So AI will give me 95% of the answer, but to do or not do, or what precaution to take to do, that 5% will only be human brain. So I think we as a professional service firm, which is a boutique firm, biggest opportunity of our career. And of course, reskill the people to make sure that desk work are converted into either winning trust with the clients or managing factories for AI.
So I was reading that Claude, which is one of the AIs, right, today has the capability of doing over 99% of a US individual tax return. Okay. Now, fast forward few years maybe, and we are seeing, I think so, evolvement of AI every week. I mean, newer things coming on. How do you see that affecting the, let's say, now, I would say, if you have a compliance heavy practice, I'm sure that will get affected. What's your viewpoint considering how fast it's going and how fast, agreed there's an opportunity to it. Do you think there's a more risk than just confidentiality? And confidentiality also will always be a risk because the more you grow as a firm, the number of people you grow, one bad document and like you said, one wrong upload and it breaches the confidentiality.
No, I would say that when Excel sheets came in, counting of Bai Khatas and those Munims got replaced. This will also morph into, you'll always have a Geo coming up with a 30 rupee return or something. But that is not going to solve any problem. That's only going to be for that, employee who has 2-3 lakhs of income, maybe 10 lakhs of income. But that's not the market we're catering to. Our HNI's numbers will keep growing.
Correct.
And the government will having more and more compliances and complex laws. And the interface between various laws, that AI will find it very difficult to give you ready answers to. I think there's a huge opportunity. You have to embrace AI to shorten and make the processes efficient. But the interplay, just as a standard back office, will change into a very intelligent back office with different kinds of skill sets, marrying different conflicts of regulations, which AI will find it very difficult to do. A huge opportunity.
What's your perspective of tomorrow times? I would say Transaction Square going global. Let's say what we saw, what we have seen, I would say, is till now, it's the international firms or US based firms or UK based firms who have dominated the globe, right? European, because they are in multiple countries, 50, 60, 70 countries, and so on. We've not seen Indian consulting firms or Indian CA firms go global, maximum till now UAE, but typically we have still not seen. Do you see Transaction Square being one of those firms tomorrow in the longer run?
Clearly, no. I do not want to have a Dubai office. I'm happy to work with my tie-ups. Now, since you told me that you have a Dubai presence, I'm happy to work with you. I want to be India. Do you think that Motilal Oswal is now doing Dubai and Singapore? They are so focused on the India story. Our India story is so big. I want to focus on what I'm good at, what my firm is good at. I do not want to be global.
So that part is very clear.
Absolutely clear. I do not want to have office. I don't want to be distracted. What more can I do for my Indian offices? Yes, but my Indian offices want Dubai advice. I have the best one working with me. They want Singapore advice. I have the best one working with me. But I don't need to go and distract myself at all.
What's your view on the story which is going on these days of an Indian Big Four, right? Do you think it's just a headline which is making, or you think tomorrow there is Indian Big Four is just a tagline? It could be 6, it could be 10. We're not getting into that. But what I mean is, do you think there's a possibility of tomorrow creating an environment where Indian firms can thrive?
Indian firms are already thriving.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is thriving to the level where what government wants, which is really big firms.
I think, no, according to me, it's a distraction. Firms which have the energy and the passion will get there. And you have niches in so many things. Like I see government consulting firms which are specialists. I see HR firms which are specialists. Forensic firms that are specialist firms I come across. I see, things doing very good. People are doing very, very good work. Now, will they aggregate together and become an India Big Five? That is depending upon how people come together. So to me, it's a narrative, Big Four versus others and all that stuff. It doesn't matter.
It's just, same.
For me, personally, I want to serve all the Indian entrepreneurs. In that, if some MNCs trust me, I'm happy to serve them. But from the MNCs head honchos and the MNC contact, I get a lot of business. So you can say an XP house may want to have a Big Four to do the ICs, investment committees, but they refer me to all their portfolios and their friends. That's what I want to be. So really, whether I want to be with this runaway facade of being a part of a India Big Five, as the opportunities come, I'll collaborate. But that's not...
It's not a distraction. I mean that you are targeting...
I'm not even following it.
That you are targeting, I should be one of those... That's not your focus.
I want to get better at what I do every day and have my own story.
I've heard a lot about how your day looks and you put it on LinkedIn. So for the benefit of, I would say, students, and how do you generally spend your day? And you read a lot, you travel a lot. So how do you plan your day and how do you go about solving clients' problems?
So I would say I have a unique thing. I can sleep 4 hours a day for days together. So typically 11 to 3. 3 o'clock I get up. Prepare for all my meetings. I prepare very well for all the tasks at my hands, whether it's as a leader, as a firm builder, as meeting clients, solving problems, whatever. And then either I take a flight. If I'm in Bombay, I'm in the office by 7:38. And then I'm in meetings, I'm in conversations with teams, trying to see what more can we do. And the day ends by around 9:30, 10, depending upon where I am. If I'm flying back, it's late. Otherwise, normally I travel 5 days a week and I work 6.5 days a week. So I work Sunday till 2:33 every Sunday. And that's been for the last 8 years as an entrepreneur. And that was always in KPMG also.
As well?
So
that's something which, that's a great quality to have, just to sleep less.
And I enjoy myself. So I can't do frivolous conversations. So I don't need to be a part of something I don't enjoy. I don't need to discuss stupid things of discussing other people's problems. So I'm very focused on what I do. I love what I do. I love solving things. And it keeps growing and growing and growing. And the more you do, the better you get. And I can see futures of things. I can understand the visions of things. I can foresee a problem. I can foresee an opportunity, because doing this for so many years, I've just got that in the knack.
And how's your other management team building? Because a lot of people would say Transaction Square is Girish Vanvari, right? Is that true? And how do you go about building the second layer? Because obviously there is...
There is a second layer. That's why the firm has 1,500 clients. Girish Vanvari cannot be to 1,500 clients. So obviously the narratives will be there, like
of course, that's
Mukesh Ambani is Reliance. These narratives will always be there, and competitors will always say, oh, it's X and his firm. But there is a power required to run a firm. For a big four is the power of the brand. For an Indian firm is the power of those individuals. And of course, in that one person has that larger vision who takes it forward with his very well-meaning team, and I have great co-founders, great partners, and we all take it forward. So it doesn't bother me actually, these narratives.
And that's a very good thing, because it's very easy in today's world with whole social media and everything. Social media, English.
Okay. I told you about Andersen. Who thought Andersen would collapse? When we took loans, we always gave our Andersen slips to any loan. Andersen stopped to exist in one day. So people say, oh, what if Girish Vanvari run down by a bus? Who will service you? Andersen collapsed. Who will service you?
Correct.
ILFS has become nothing.
Yeah, we saw that.
Lehman you saw. So what are we talking? One mishap. You told me that PwC fired 1,800 people in Dubai. Correct. One client went away. Who in those 1,800 employees thought they would be fired by PwC? On the contrary, your and my firm will have a human heart. Correct. In COVID, we would break our FDs and give people. Then say, take a pay cut and all that stuff. Because we understand that these are our people, and leaders eat last. So I think these are all...
a lot of narratives being built by people.
And just have to
ignore. Yeah, because... And people, at least the younger crowd gets so stringed on with these rumors.
No. I tell you, the fortunate part about me is because I got married early, I have 2 children. My son is 25, my daughter is 27. And their friends come home and their friends are working, they are working. When I hear what their friends are doing in bigger organization, they would give anything to be in Transaction Square. Because the younger generation wants experience, they want knowledge, they want to do many things, they want to figure things out, and the big four tightens them. Okay, take an example. You will do TP. You will do TP only in Bombay. Then you will do TP only in technology, media and telecom. In that also, we will only give you telecom. So that experience versus come figure it out, let's grow a market together.
We really don't know how we'll evolve.
And that's how you would get your consulting people, right?
Correct.
So,
and that's the excitement, to be really honest.
So there is a very big market for us, for people also.
And it'll only grow. Like, I think so the Indian growth story is so intact. I mean, I think so we're lucky to be in this era where the next 20-30 years will be maybe the best years we will see and grow. That's my perspective, that Indian story is really intact. So that's going to... What is one word that defines your journey so far, if you were to say?
I think it's blessing here. I've been blessed. I mean, with the opportunities, with every day is a forward day. No looking back.
Most misunderstood thing about a Big Four partner?
I would say the fact that he knows his stuff well. So if I was hiring a Big Four partner, I would really see who will work on my job and what capability he brings in. And not just a credential where he comes as a team leader and never comes after that.
I think historically Indian firms, like I can say from my side also, made the mistake that Big Four hai to acha hi hoga. Like 10 years back, that perception was there. Now I think so it's lesser, that you would go deeper into you don't need to be a Big Four partner to be good.
Correct. So I would say I would not have a paranoia of a Big Four, non-Big Four. I would say good professional, not very good professional. Somebody who stands by his client, somebody who just looks at it as fees and goes away. Somebody who makes the client succeed, somebody who does not make the client succeed. So you have great Big Four partners, you have terrible Big Four partners, you have great Indian firms, you have terrible Indian firms.
Correct.
So it's somebody who has a heart in what he does and really wants to do well for his clients, wants to see them succeed.
One decision you're really proud of post starting Transaction Square. Once you started, then what is one decision you've really been proud of?
I mean, I think there's not as such one decision.
I mean, okay.
But in everyday living with integrity, living with honor, when the chips are down, still not compromising on any of your values. It's tough at times, but you never go down on your values.
And you've never ever thought or ever came in the mind ki, okay, now you've really become big, but let's say in the beginning, you never came to your mind, this decision may not be right, I need to go back to a Big Four?
Not even a single day. I'm not big also today. I mean, AI, there's so many fears also we have, right?
Everyone
now when
has.
everybody has Diwali, for us the month has gone by. You're staring at 31st. So you have your payroll.
Correct.
So when you are in your employment in a Big Four, you don't have to worry about all that.
Correct.
But as an entrepreneur, you are having a mind on everything. So it's not that we've arrived or life is it's not a product. It's a service business. So you're at it every day.
Every single day.
So
and that carries on.
That doesn't stop. You enjoy it also.
And you enjoy it also.
So, but it's not that you're comfortable and I would never, unless God makes you in a situation that you need to go back to a job, I would not do a job. I would create jobs. I would not say Big Four, non-Big Four. I would say creating job versus being in a job.
And creating jobs is very this thing with you, because when you talked about IPO, that was like a very important part. You said that.
Oh yes, imagine so many people don't have jobs here. How many people in CAs? Yeah, how many people in CAs apply to you and they don't have a job?
Correct.
We only see success stories here and there, but
and it's very sad that these are, I would say, qualified people, worked very hard. Chartered accountancy is very tough in India, worked really hard and still struggling to get a job.
And that would be for a lawyer, that would be for an MBA. So if you can create jobs and create more families as a part of your ecosystem, that's what India needs, no?
One book that really changed you. I understand you read a lot of books.
I read lots of books.
Yeah.
And it keeps changing what is my favorite.
But as of now, what's your favorite?
And I read everything, yeah. So it wouldn't be this or that. I read everything. Everything.
So it's like everyday habit?
Everyday habit, at least a book in the bag always. Every flight you would flip something through. And now, it becomes, you can grip a book very, very fast. But I think one book which in my childhood, which had an impact on me, is a book called To Kill a Mockingbird.
Okay.
About values, Harper Lee. So it's a fiction, but it's really very,
it stayed
very
with
good.
you in terms of...
Yes.
One habit that keeps you grounded?
I'm always grounded. There's no habit. You always treat everybody like, say, we came here, we were served with water, tea, coffee. Such nice people, right? So you don't have to show your authority to anybody. And I would say how a client treats somebody who gets you tea or coffee in the room or on any table where something is getting served, it also defines the client. So I think you always have to be grounded.
Will Girish ever retire? I know you want to work till 100, but I mean,
not at all.
That's something...
Not at all. And I wish that I go away working. I can't relate to this. I need a break. I need rest. So a different client problem is a rest. A different city is fun. So today it's lovely here. It's so nice. Chilly in the morning today. Yesterday I was in Bombay. It was raining. Day before was Chennai, raining very heavily.
Very heavily.
So it's like, and why should you rest? You can do so much good, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And so you've built teams, you've now firm, credibility. Is there any battle which you're still fighting really hard?
I have no battles. I just follow my heart. And I find the divine signals. So I don't make life so complicated. Competing, battle, no. These are all words in the books.
It's more words hearsay than actual even. But I've seen a lot of people, like, for me, I really don't care what others say. जो बोलना है बोलते रहे. वो तो अच्छा भी करोगे तभी बोलोगे. गंदा करोगे तभी बोलोगे. तो सोच, it's disturbing you only.
And at least you are from Delhi, I'm from Bombay. Bombay culture is
I'm actually from Dehradun.
It's irrelevant for all this. Like you have to get on with your own to-dos in day. So where's the time for all this?
One last question, right? What do you hope your journey teaches you to people, let's say, who will not meet you or whom you don't meet, but they will get inspired by your story? That's what one thing would you like to tell them? Like,
I would say, have a dream here. Life is too short. Have a dream. It may be anything. And chase it. It's fun when you chase a dream.
Chasing is always fun.
Yeah, and then work-life balance and all that all falls into place. Everything becomes fun. So have a dream. Don't let your life just pass by.
Thank you so much, Girish. It was really nice to interact with you. Thank you so
Thanks,
much for
it's my
being here.
pleasure.
Really enjoyed.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
here.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.